Where are we? Hello, Facebook. It's Terry here. Jumping in for the very final Tuesday chats for the year, given that it's not. It's our second last. We've got another one. We're taking a break between Christmas and New Year, though, just because everybody deserves a break at some point. So today, though, I've been joined by Nicole. Now, Nicole and I, we met probably about 3 years ago now, I'm thinking, somewhere around there. And Nicole owns this amazing family-owned business in Toowoomba called Pets Galore. But I'll let her share with you more about that. While we are chatting, though, what I'd love for you to do is if you jump in here and see this, or if you're on already with us, I have got the chat open on my phone. It's just not quite loading up at the moment. If you've got any questions or comments, please pop them in the chat so that I can share them with Nicole, because at the moment she can't see the chat. Obviously, we'll get back into it later on. But Nicole, there's a bunch of people on here who will be watching this at some point who have never even heard of you, let alone know anything about your business. So please share with us who you are and what you do.
So who I am personally is just somebody who loves to learn, loves to be around pets, and loves to integrate the perfect pet companion in with households. As a business, we are in our 36th year of our business in Toowoomba, and we provide a traditional pet store, so all animals, all departments, all accompanying products to people. But as over the 36 years happens, you migrate and you change and you modernise and you go down different tracks. So nowadays it's really about guiding in and being in tune with the consumer, what they need in a pet to match with their household. Sometimes they already know it. They've had a great one previously, and we dive a bit into what made that great pet a great pet for them and their household. And then we get a new next version to go home with them. Or they don't know. They just know they want something to be in their house with them. And what that looks like, they don't know. So we dive into what is the characteristics and personalities we need out of a pet to match with them and their household, however that looks. And there's a multitude of options of how that looks. And if that's two guinea pigs, or that are indoors and they want to sit and stroke the guinea pigs, or if it's a little pet mouse, or if it's an axolotl, or if it's a fish tank, or if it's a puppy or a kitten or a bird, or if it's a bird, is it a hand-raised bird that they're in and out of the cage all the time and interacting with human? Is it something we just look at? There's heaps and heaps and heaps of avenues. So it's about that. And then after that, teaching and guiding the people on how to have them in their home. And because we've been around so long, and I travel internationally when you can, to get education on products. And so I bring together all the products that I've discovered over the years that work well. So when we don't get products just from one or two suppliers, it's really broad, and there's some niche little products that are so cool and really help the animals out. And even products that we've created 20 years ago when they didn't exist on the market, that we still do our own recipes or our own styles. Yeah. So that's kind of about all of it.
Yeah, cool. So it's really very all-encompassing with what you do, from the entire journey of the matching all the way through to the care and provision of whatever it is that the animal needs in the home.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's cool. And I tell you, from personal experience, coming in and asking you about, like when we've got a Great Dane at home, and she's the first giant breed dog that we've ever had, and being able to come in and have and pick your brains about the specialised food to get her so that when she grew, she had the best chance of growing in the way that she should, as opposed to, the different, like the impact of different nutrition and stuff, like the massive, it's phenomenal. Like it blows me away every time we talk in terms of the depth of knowledge that you have in and around the pet industry, and all the, like as you said, the products, the different details around there, the details around the individual like breeds, even going into all the different pros and cons of all the different breeds of dogs and their sort of stereotypical personalities. It's phenomenal, so phenomenal. So Tell me what it is that you love most about your business.
Guiding the human, and why I still love being on the floor. And when I mean being in retail, being on the floor means serving customers. So over the years, we've done multitude of different projects and have franchise stores, and I've had big stores with 40 staff and all that stuff in different avenues. Always had this store, but done other things as well. And what I really love is that human that walks in, needs the help, you guide them, and stuff they never knew about. Like I had a new puppy owners yesterday that came in, had the puppy, can't get them into a groomer's because this time of year groomers are flat strap. And somehow we want to do this and learn it ourselves. And I just started clipping the face. I said, do you mind if I do it? Because it needed doing. Yep. Oh, now. So then I taught her how to do it so she can do it at home. And the friend that was with her, I said, she was a personality in a lovely way, but knew it all. And at the end of the conversation, she said, oh my God, I actually learned something off you as well. I said, well, I think you probably know a lot in life. And she said, yeah, but I actually learned stuff off you. So it's really cool, that human interaction, when you can provide them from me going this journey. And like me with clipping, I clip our dogs that are here and faces and that. But it's what I've discovered over life works well. And then I can guide people to have their journey of what works well for them.
Yeah.
So here's some tips, here's some guidance, try it, and then work it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I can see there's a few people watching today. If you've got any questions for Nicole about anything to do with, like whether it's a business related question, because as she said, she's been in business essentially her whole life. But also too, if you've got questions about your pets at home, drop them in the chat. We'll get through them if we can, like depending on what pops up there. Or, Nicole can come back and answer those later on if that's what you'd like. And I love having, like I said, the conversation with you. I love watching you, even when I've dropped into the store and you and I, as we know, like we both love a chat. And then so, if a customer comes in, you'll go and help them and come back, and watching you in your element, helping those people. It's something I really enjoy. What is it? So in the flip side of that, what is it that you are not so excited about with your business?
Not having as much time in the day now that I have a child, and try and have some time with a partner that we don't live together. I don't truly, but I kind of make a rule that, and my daughter doesn't allow it anyway because she's a person who loves to be touched and has to be touched to go to sleep and all that. But I have a rule that when I go home, I just do her. Sometimes you'll do office work later at night or early morning, but we're in the old, and I was only thinking about this last night, in the old days or when I was young and you didn't have any attachments, I just stay here and keep working. So to get the stuff done. And so last night was a pure example. I had a customer come in late who's new to Toowoomba. They have their own business, and the little girl has had some birthday money, and was biting at the bit to have some guinea pigs in their life.
No, cute.
So we went through the process, but by the time I didn't have to rush them out, but I got my daughter's at vacation care. She's a very alive, happening human. So after swimming, she has swimming in the mornings at the moment and tennis. So then she goes to vacation care just so she can have a nice full and keep flowing. And I had to pick her up. So they rang me and, I'm still coming. I've just been helping a customer. And then I picked her up, and then I came back, did some things here that I had to do for end of day stuff, and then go back and do a delivery, and then life. So we're back in the old days, you didn't have that. So you just stay here and just keep working. So that's kind of the only challenge now, is to try and coordinate that you're doing enough in every element to fulfill enough. But so it's just that different phase.
And the balance, like whatever balance is for you as an individual, it's going to change. Like I said, the phase now where your daughter is the age that she is, that vacation care is needed, etc. You know, it'll change again in not very long when she is that little bit older, you know, a little bit more independent, you know. If she's anything like mine, will be happy to sit upstairs in the office and play on a screen all day, you know. Not that you necessarily want that to happen, but you know, I have a teenager who would be very happy to do that if he needed to be with you for the day. He just sit, or he could help in the shop, you know. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, it's interesting to see how our world as a parent changes with you know, and what our business looks like as our kids change and we, you know, tweak around that.
Yep.
Yeah. What does your dream business look like?
Dream business is to still have the retail. I still really enjoy it, but not have to be here 7 days a week. I still do 7 days in store. If I'm in Toowoomba, it's the only way to kind of not be here is leave town. And have a team. So when I hire my team, I hire them without knowledge.
Yeah.
Because I want the right human. As you go through that journey, obviously things happen and change. But I've found over the years, when you hire a human for knowledge, they may be not your fit in personality and culture for the store. So it's much better to hire the right human and then I teach them. The only challenge is the style of store and business we have is all around helping people and therefore they need the knowledge. So I've got to be here or guide them. They can ring me with every customer anytime and get help, but I still, we're nearly there, and I only thought last night when I was finishing the roster, I do a 5-week roster, and I did another trial on Sunday afternoon for a young junior. And for the first time in years, and I can't remember how long, but a damn long time, I've actually got a full team. So I've got a full team of juniors and what I call intermediates, so the 18, 19, 20s, that you can see them just blooming, and seniors that you can have a lovely full team, you can roll it, and I'm just here supporting and guiding and encouraging them to take on more. So that I do employer of choice theory. So, and I've got a wait list as well. So, but it's just about that right personality. So being here, there's a heap of projects in my head that I want done and we're making great progress and hopefully one element of that will be up in the next week. So doing more with that stuff. And then continue learning. I'm doing a master's in education as well, which I enrolled this semester and then 3 weeks in looked at it and went, oh God, I'm supposed to do something every week. And it's the first time ever I've had to cancel a uni subject when I've been doing them. So that was annoying, but just realistic for this time.
Yeah.
So having that match that I can have the business, be here, but not have to rely on mum taking my daughter to swimming and dance and everything all the time, being able to come and go, having the other projects that really fill me and that I will provide the world with extra help with their pets. It's all around the pet world. And then there may be, what keeps coming back to me is a lot of the stuff that I've had to get through in business, which is a huge amount of variety. That keeps coming back, that can I help other people go through their journey and they don't have to go through as much as I do. And stuff that people just aren't aware of. Like a friend in Brisbane has a business and a couple of weeks ago I said to her, she didn't know about the world of school-based traineeships and even traineeships in the pet world. So I guided her through that and that they just don't know about.
Yeah.
It's really useful for everybody, the kids and the business and so just all that type of stuff as well. So a really broad maturity and that's about kind of it.
Yeah. Big impact, but across a lot of areas. So yeah. And I guess too, with being able, when you get to that point of being able to have that business that you're envisaging, you'll have a lot more variety, a lot more freedom, a lot more, there'll be like lots of different moving parts, which you're already managing a lot of them anyway. but it's definitely a little different to the, focus on the retail that you currently have. Yeah. Now, do you have in amongst your work, I don't know do you have a charity that you work with on a regular basis?
Medium. So within the shop, it's about teaching people where to go and where to access. There's some excellent no-kill shelters that people can access animals from. And like the Greyhound one down at Gatton. So sometimes it's about that they haven't thought of that avenue, or they haven't thought of that option, or they've only thought of the ones that are very public and not other ones that do some great work and that they can really find a great companion with. So sometimes it's about that. And then separate to the business, I've been in Inner Wheel forever, and Inner Wheel is linked into the Rotary group of charities. Okay. And these guys started out doing cord blood research. So the world out there may not know about cord blood because it's still quite a new thing. And when Ori was born, I banked her cord blood and her cord tissue. And at that stage, nobody could bank cord tissue in Australia. It had to go to America. So it started out in Sydney with Inner Wheel ladies collecting the cords from the ladies who had delivered and taking it, driving it to the banks, because back then that service wasn't available. Yeah. So now it's about raising money to be able to give people the research capabilities to see where this stuff can do and what it can do. And it's quite amazing what it can, health-wise, what it can help. So it's just, so that's one of the main ones we do.
So teach me about this. What's the whole, like, I have heard of cord blood banks and etc. But why is it that you chose that when you gave birth to Ori, that you banked the blood and the tissue? Why? What's the thought process behind that?
So it's for the future. So if they get leukemia, say, there's a heap of variety now. So the cord blood, one of the big ones it does is helps leukemia. The cord tissue they're just discovering, and they're thinking that people with severe migraines, it can help them. So you go through all the normal treatments, but at the end, if they just don't work for that person, sometimes there's a match in cord blood. So there's a World Bank of cord bloods. But if you've got your own, it's a perfect match already. So if they get a diagnosis which just can't be treated with medical help, basically they strip the blood out, put the cord blood back in, and it's a pure blood. So it hasn't got any of these imperfections or diseases in it, and you rid the body of these issues.
Yeah, wow.
It's extraordinary. Yeah. But it's not well known.
Yeah.
So the cord tissue, when I did it with Ori, which is now 6.5 years on, at the time they thought people with severe migraines, so quite a different concept to the blood that they could help it with. So they're just diving into that stuff more. Mum did a seminar last week with research that they've been doing in Sydney and how they're doing it now. And just amazing. So if anybody wants to just Google cord blood or cord blood research, anything like that, pretty much in every country there's organisations where you can bank it. Costs a little bit of money, but in the big scheme of things, nothing compared to what you pay for a treatment. So it's just a great insurance policy for the future. And their bank, it used to be about 18 years they can bank them for, but now the research is proving at least 25 years.
Nice.
And then also, if you can't use it for your own at whatever time, you can bank it to an international bank where it can be accessible from anyone in the world.
Yeah, right.
And they literally transport them around the world for the person. Really cool stuff.
That's awesome. So I've got I'm just having a look at people who are watching here. We've got Mitch and Laurelie and Jem on watching, and I know Jem's actually she's a nurse, so that'll be really cool. So tell me, with the Inner Wheel stuff, are you involved with that on a regular basis? How, like, what does that actually look like with the way that you support, or is it like that you support them financially? what?
So you do
I'm
both.
just really interested in the whole process.
It's really cool. So Toowoomba's actually got the biggest club in Australia, and
wow.
only for women, ages between officially 18, but there's not many young people. I was the youngest when I went in, and I think I was probably about 20 years ago or so we went in, a group of us together, 3 friends. We went from Rotaract up, not Rotaract, that's a school one. Interact School 1 Rotaract. There's a whole age categories thing, which is the kind of young version. We went over, and I don't get to the meetings because it's Thursday nights, and it's and I work most Thursday nights. But yeah, it's only once a month meeting, so you don't have to go weekly like some of the systems, and you don't have to go. So I pay the subscription each year, but I never go, or I go when I can. And then they do a lot with fellowship, like Rotary does. So it's about community, them getting together and supporting. There's a craft group within it. So one of the really cool things they've done over the years with the craft group is Premi pillows. So they literally make the Premi pillows and then take them to the hospital. Nice. So that's really cool. So yeah, you've got the fellowship and the community, and they always do an international charity. I don't even know what it is this time, but there's always fundraising for international charities, and then your Australian charity, which is the Cord Blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. That's amazing. So given that, so one of the things that I have done with these chats right from day one, because of, well, just what I do. So this has been shared, as you know, into my Facebook page, like my personal profile, my business page, and also into my group. Tuesdays were always our tip day. Now we modified that lightly, but if you wanted to share a tip with somebody about whatever, it doesn't have to necessarily be a pet thing if you don't want to, what would be your number one tip that you want to share with the world?
Sure. We'll go with the pet thing because it's my world. Is just to think about what, and take the emotion out of it. Think about what your family and or household looks like and what you need a pet to fulfill in that household. Because what the personality characteristics and characteristics of a pet are that you may end up with could be different to what you emotionally think in the beginning you'd like. Yeah. It may not be, but it may very well be. So have a step back. And so many people I talk to have to prompt them to think about it in a way that they can actually understand it. So that's my tip, is take it slow, don't be emotional. This animal hopefully will be with you for a long time. And if you can get the match more perfect, it's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's interesting, the difference having, we're a family that's always got a dog, and at least one, sometimes 3 or 4. It depends on the season at the time with what's going on. And, or if there's a litter, then obviously there's like 10. Yep. But yeah, it's different breeds, different personalities, because we don't stick to a single breed, but it makes such a difference on the dynamic within the house. It's phenomenal to see. I'm loving looking at all your cat thingies in behind there and the fish tanks and stuff. Phenomenal amount of stock, because I know that you're upstairs at the moment in the shop, and it's an area that I very rarely go to because I don't have a cat. I don't need a fish tank, so yeah, amazing what you've got there. But yeah, it's certainly like, having lived that, having dogs that were really, sorry, what was that? These cat poles are a good example. I bring them up from Sydney because there's no good ones that I like in Queensland. Yeah. So I bring them up from Sydney for people, and they're a really cool one. Wow. Can you pan and show us a few more, like just how many cat poles you've got in there? Oh, yeah. Is that adorable? Look at that. Jeez. Like, everywhere else I've ever gone to, there's like 3. Well, it depends on, the house and the cat and the type and what they need. And yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? So yeah. But yeah, having lived with a
a dog that's not the greatest match versus, you know, those that just fit in perfectly. Oh my goodness, the difference in the peace and tranquility in the house when you've got a good match versus a not so good match is just unbelievable.
But with your situation, you didn't realise that till after the fact. It's a hindsight thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it all lands on us. It's our choices, and it's not the animal's just the animal. You know, they are so heavily influenced by the environment they're in, and who, you know, what their breed tendencies are, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of and you know, like, you know, with them, there's, you know, it's a lot. I mean, I'm actually thinking about, we had a foxy that we rehomed years ago for friends of ours when we lived down in the valley, and at the time we rehomed the foxy and a dachshund from the same family, and the dachshund came to us and just instantly worked, you know, like was just settled in beautifully, took very little time before they were really comfortable with us as a family. Whereas the foxy had been like a bit on the hyperactive side, and the dogs had come from a standard, you know, city house block in Brisbane and came out to us where we were on 2 acres. And the longer that foxy stayed with us, it kind of got like, it just got more and more hyper. Like it was a really, I didn't understand what was going on. Anyway, we had another friend who used to come and stay with us relatively often and they were living in Brisbane. And this foxy they just blended with, like, because it reminded them of a dog they'd had years ago. So they actually went, okay, well, look, send him down to us. We'll give him a go at home for a bit. And I felt really bad because I'm like, no, I should be taking care of this dog. I promised to rehome it, whatever. And this foxy went down to Mount Gravatt, again, back to a standard house block and with a different family dynamic, and just chilled out.
Perfect.
Like it just worked for him. You know, it was a phenomenal shift in, like, he worked with their family. There was a cat in the family. We're not a cat family. They had a cat plus this little dog. You know, we had too much space. Yeah, it was really fascinating to see. And, you know, I've grown up on the land. Being on 2 acres, I thought I like half kind of felt like my throat was cut because I've got such a little space. And I'm working on the assumption that all dogs want more room. But in reality, this little guy didn't. He wanted a smaller space. That was what he was used to, and that's where he was his happiest. And he lived with them very happily right up until his last days, because this is like probably 15 years ago that we actually rehomed that dog. So yeah, it's an amazing journey to see just where the matches really are, you know, and the dynamic of your family with kids or no kids, home, not home, etc., space, exercise patterns, you know, and then matching that with, you know, dog personality as well as breed tendencies, you know. So yes.
And it's really lovely when people come in and open themselves to that process. And it's not for everybody, and I get that. That's fine. But if you're willing to be open to that, what we can provide, and it is very different to what else is out there in the world, and I get that too. But if you're open to it, what can happen, and like one lady a couple of months ago that's just coming to me was in, and she was really drawn to one animal, but when I talked to her, that wasn't right for her phase in life, and she did adopt another one. It worked very well. And she said, okay, the next dog in 20 years, when I'm at that stage, I'll come back and we'll have that style.
Yeah.
You know? So if they're open to it and understand it, it's so cool.
Yeah. No, it's really lovely. So I guess the other thing I wanted to ask you about today was given that you're coming into Christmas, and I know a lot of people will be wanting to buy pets or pet products, etc., for Christmas as gifts. What's your advice or offer around that to help people in that process?
Pretty much is just, if you think those people might want a gift, then buy a gift voucher. Because so many times, or buy just a tank or just a guinea pig enclosure. Just buy a basic that they need and then buy a gift voucher. Because every single time, especially with kids, which guinea pig the parents think the kid will like is something completely different to the one the kids are attracted to.
Yeah.
So, and the same with the colours of gravel for a fish tank or whatever it is. So if you think of it, if you want to pool money from grandparents, if they want to ring in and give money for gift vouchers, that's all fine. But
Yeah.
and the kids, especially if we're doing kids and even adults, they really enjoy the process of coming and picking themselves. You can see the buzz in it. And
Yeah.
we're only closed Christmas Day, so it's no big deal. And if they're really desperate, I've got to come in twice Christmas Day to look after the animals. So if they're really interested, they can come Christmas Day anyway. But if they get that buzz and then they know it's happening. So one of the issues I've found over the years is parents just aren't getting to it, or keep saying to the child, oh, we'll get there. And even if whatever animal it is, so if there's heaps of new turtles coming this week, which is a really late in the year for me to be able to get turtles. But if they want a lizard, say, because it's too early in the season for lizards, or nearly, we might get some this week, which is, again, real fluky this time of year. But if they want something that's not available, get the setup, get a starter, and then give the gift voucher so the child or the other person knows, oh, it's actually happening this time, instead of mum and dad just saying, yeah, we'll get there at some stage.
Yeah.
But, yeah, go for it. Get the gift voucher, because they really love doing the picking and the choosing themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things we did when we did something like that at Christmas time was with the gift voucher, I also created an image, speaking of dogs, the joys of working from home. She was sleeping on her bed. We had the gift voucher and stuff, but the kids are little. So then I did a whole, found an image on Google and printed it up. And I'm like, this is the gift voucher so that we can have something like this for our family. So it still gave the kids a visual of what was coming.
Potential.
Yeah. And, but it's like, well, today's Christmas Day, but we will go and take care of this in the next, and we would booked a time on the calendar, made a whole process of it, because our kids at the time were quite little. So, yeah. Anyway, great big offer. Sorry.
She's included.
She's in this bed rearranging phase. I don't know what it is. Used to be able to just go and lie on a bed and everything was fine. I think maybe I need a new bed or something, because every time we set it up now, she's got to go and redecorate.
Correct. Well, it's just what she would like, not what you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's just interesting though, because she's not comfortable. So I think I need to come and talk to you about a fresh bed for her.
No problem.
All good. All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, if anyone's got any questions, nothing's popped up yet in the feed, so hence the sharing. But if anyone has got any questions, please pop them in the chat. Nicole and I will be able to go back in and answer those questions and help you out wherever we can. Thank you though, Nicole, for being on and sharing with us about your world within the pet space. And it's been lovely, and have an amazing Christmas. I am coming to see you for dog food between now and then though. Yeah, I know. But yeah, for now it's bye from me.
Okay. Bye everyone.